This is why I do not want to live in the United Kingdom anymore.
Is it just me, or does anybody else feel like this country is a shithole right now?
My whole life, I've never known the UK to be in the state it's in right now.
This is London. Hard to believe, but this is London.
That's why I'm not sick of these bitches. I've been like, you won't think something like that. You won't think something like that. I don't understand how you won't.
Rachel fucking Reeves. I have no words. I despise that woman.
Bloody Labour Council! Vote for us! We'll look after you if you're poor. We look after the old age pensioners. We are the party what cares. They don't give a shit! Not one of them!
Breaking news, well, I don't know what to say about this, but this is going to leave a lot of people furious, because a report that's come in today has said that the Home Office have leaked a document that reveals a staggering amount of illegal immigrants have just vanished.
Order! Order! I say to the Honourable Gentleman, I will not tolerate such behaviour. If you want to go out now, but if you stand again, I will order you out. Make your mind up. Either shut up and get out.
I'm still trying to process what's just happened. I'm in genuine shock, yeah? So this morning, I reported Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves to the police for fraud. I called the Metropolitan Police first, and they said I had to speak to my local police force. They wouldn't touch it. So I called Cheshire Police, who, despite me saying there is clear evidence that these people have lied to the British public to gain a financial advantage by taking more money off us through tax for a reason that doesn't even exist, despite the evidence showing that these people have committed billions of pounds worth of fraud against all of us. Just watch what happened.
Please note, the following options have changed. If you are ringing...
Just ringing to report a crime, please.
Yeah, do you want to tell me briefly what's happened?
Yeah, there's two individuals who have committed fraud on a mass scale. It is well documented. There is plenty of evidence, so I just need to report it, please.
Right, okay. How's this fraud sort of taking place? Sorry, is this all online, or what's the score with it?
Well, you may have seen it in the news. So it's my true and honest belief that these two extremely prominent figures have committed fraud against tens of millions of people to the tune of billions of pounds. So obviously, as a British citizen, I feel it's my moral obligation to request a police investigation into this. I can't give you the details of the people involved.
So have you been a victim of fraud yourself?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you just give me the basics of what's happened regarding the fraud, or what's happened.
Yeah, of course. So basically, it's based on reports released by a public body. They're called the OBR. And considering the recent reports in the news, and then in conjunction with public statements released by these individuals, I believe that they've committed fraud on a mass scale and even breached the market abuse under the Financial Services and Markets Act 2000.
Right, okay. Right, so what's happened to you individually then? So what's happened to you regarding it and the fraud which has been taking place?
I've been lied to many times in order to hand over more money. Well, what's happened is, obviously, you've got Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer who have stood publicly and stated time and time again that there's a black hole, a financial black hole that we need to pay into. As a result, they've raised taxes and levies, etc., which I believe is fraud because they've lied. And like I say, due to reports that the OBR have released, also evidence within the media and things that I've seen personally.
So for the suspects, sorry, who are the suspects? Are you saying...
The suspects are our Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, and Rachel Reeves.
Right, okay. Just bear with me 1 second, I'm just going to put you on hold.
Okay, thank you. Hello.
Hi, thank you for holding. I just wanted to get some advice from my supervisor. Yeah, regardless, I will be taking this report from you. What I would recommend for you to do is, if there's an issue in regards to that, you need to go onto the House of Parliament website and take a complaint through there. Okay?
Well, the issue is that I mean, they're all complicit because obviously it's the Labour government that are doing this, and this is happening on like a multi-tier level. So I would essentially be reporting them to themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but again, like I said, I've spoken to my supervisor and that's the advice I've been given to provide for you, okay? So I'll log it down from obviously the conversation we said and what I've been advised to say to you and what to do, but otherwise that's as far as it's going to go from our side of things, okay?
Okay, it's just that because what I am reporting is a potential crime, so I don't understand why the police wouldn't then pick up on that because I'm reporting what I believe to be a crime.
I'm not going to get into it with you, Richard, okay? I've just given you the advice on it, and like I say, you can take the advice if you wish, but like I say, I'll log it and what was advised, you can take the advice.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so just to clarify, I'm reporting a crime. You said that you're not going to investigate it, and I need to speak to the people who are committing the crime, potentially.
Right. I'm not going to get into this with Richard, but I am going to end the call for you, okay? But thanks very much for calling.
Can I get a reference number, please?
Yeah, of course you can. So it's Charlie Romeo November, then it's 364 8447.
364 8447.
Yes.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Cheers. Bye now.
Bye.
So there you have it. There you have it. Keir Starmer, Rachel Reeves, the Labour Party.
Welcome to Blighty Blighted, your daily reminder that Britain used to be better. And we're watching it crumble in real time. You know what really gets on my nerves? The state of Blighty. Completely broken. And nobody in charge seems to give a damn. Uncontrolled immigration. Legal, illegal, doesn't matter anymore, does it? The borders are about as secure as a garden gate in a hurricane. Boatloads coming across the channel, nobody's got a clue who half these people are, and we're just supposed to smile and nod like it's all perfectly fine. And I'll tell you what it feels like. Feels like half of them have been let out of foreign prisons and shipped straight here. I'm not saying they all are, but when you see the crime stats, the attacks, the chaos, you start to wonder, don't you? Meanwhile, our best people, the ones with brains, skills, ambition, they're leaving. Packing up and clearing off to Australia, Canada, anywhere that'll have them. Brain drain doesn't even cover it. It's a brain flood. All the talent we've got is looking at Blighty and thinking, no thanks, I'll take my chances elsewhere. Can you blame them? Taxes through the roof, public services on their knees, infrastructure falling apart, and the government's more interested in virtue signalling than actually running the country. So what are we left with? A revolving door of people coming in who don't share our values, don't respect our way of life, and frankly, some of them shouldn't be here at all. And the people who built this country, who could actually fix it? They're gone. Blighty's being hollowed out.
The trouble with the UK is you can earn £50,000 and be pretty tax efficient, pay a reasonable amount of tax. You know, if you take £50,000 out as a business owner, you'll be paying less than £3,000 in tax. Now, that's a fair amount, but it really is as soon as you go above £50,000 when the tax man starts to get his claws into your hard-earned profits. This is really kind of fits in with the mentality of, you know, in the UK, it's so easy and comfortable to be in a middle class, £50,000 a year, husband and wife, £50,000 each, £100,000. That's what the government wants. They don't really want many wealthy people. And that's why they're taxing them to high heaven, so they go to other countries. The government just don't want that. And what they're trying to do is also tax people as much as possible to support the working class, basically the benefit system as well, fill the gap void in the NHS. So if you really are a business owner that's earning more than £50,000, the chances are you shouldn't be in the UK because their taxes are just ridiculous.
The United Kingdom used to be one of the wealthiest empires in history, but today it's drowning in debt, unable to pay its bill, and also struggling to feed its own people. And here's why. And apart from London as well as southeast England, the country as a whole is stagnant, struggling, as well as shrinking. And England already has sky-high taxes, and it doesn't want to raise that anymore. And it also doesn't export much compared to other countries like Japan, China, or Germany. And the sad part here is that England doesn't have much natural resources left as well, and the only thing it can do now is borrow. And in 2008, the UK borrowed more than $141 billion to bail out its banks. And over the next 15 years, England would have no real growth, investment, or stimulus. And many economists call this the lost decade. And disaster after disaster also piled onto the country. Brexit cut foreign investments by 25%, and COVID added another $300 billion in debt. And we also can't forget about the Ukraine war, energy shortage, as well as another $100 billion in borrowing for emergencies. And as a result, the UK has to pay roughly $100 billion every single year just on the interest for its loans. And this also means less funding for healthcare, schools, as well as infrastructure. And you can say that the UK doesn't really produce anything anymore. Instead, it's simply borrowing. And as a result, the country is slowly dying.
I'm 34 and this isn't the most conventional way of thinking at this age, but I'm about to take the biggest risk of my life. I've just quit my 9 to 5. I've sold everything, packed a bag, a laptop, a camera and a few clothes. I'm done with the UK, honestly. It's the cost of living, the mortgage rates, everything just feels completely broken. And at the moment I'm going full in on a business that allows me to work anywhere in the world, and for me to do that I think the best thing is to leave the UK. So I'm making this video with a hope that it shows you that you can change your life in an instant, like no matter what is going on in your life, no matter how bad things are, no matter how lost you feel, even if it lasts a year, if it lasts 5 years, 10 years, who knows. But I wanted to share this just because I want to share my whole story and everything that's happening to me. And yeah, just take risks because you never know what doors it may open in your life.
Which has left the authorities scrambling, and they have warned that the implications on this country are as vast as the numbers. Because listen to this is going to shock you. 53,298 migrants who have just breached their immigration bail or have fled detention have just gone missing. The internal report titled Absconder Pool also discloses an additional 736 foreign offenders have vanished after being released from prison or detention, with most believed to be facing deportation. Well, I just don't know what to say about that. I'm absolutely shocked. Leave your thoughts on this in the comments, guys, and don't forget to follow me for more breaking news.
The NHS is on its knees. My God, yesterday, unfortunately, I put my hand through a fence spike and I spent 7.5 hours up A&E just to be seen. And I was badgering them. What have we come to in this country where, I mean, it was like the savannah. It was like a zoo. We had people who were like heroin addicts. We had people passing out. We've had people who have been fighting on the street. People laying in corridors. People laying all over the chairs in A&E. We are in a modern society with all the technology and the resources and the funding to ensure this doesn't happen. But yet the NHS is overworked, understaffed, underpaid, and we cannot even see to people within reasonable timing. Now, what is this? This video is a rant because I've been back and forward. I've had the tetanus jab, the scans, the x-rays, and you have got people worse off than me who are not being seen because they haven't even got the energy to knock on the triage door to say, when am I being seen? Or they're on their own, or they're too old. And it's just a real shame where this country has ended up, that we cannot be seen in a reasonable time. And this is why I say, you know, honestly, get your money right and try and get some private medical care behind you. It's not as expensive as you might think. This was, for me, an emergency where I had to be seen to immediately, but my gosh, where have we got to when it comes to the NHS? I mean, the doctors, the nurses, they're not happy in their jobs. They're between a rock and a hard place. They're trying to keep up with the workload. They're snapping at the patients. The patients are getting snappy. I just find it a real shame to see that we have the capabilities to treat people, but we're not. And quite literally, the result is people are visiting Jesus early because of the lack of funding, staff and treatment people are not getting.
Seriously, look at it. Nothing works. Boarded up, broken shops everywhere. Schools that are falling down. Teachers buying their own supplies. Hospitals falling down. NHS waiting list, so you're basically going to be dead before you're cured. No social housing. Council house waiting lists 14 years. Shit in the rivers and in the seas. It's a horrible place. And the Tories are like, yeah, we want to cut your taxes. No, I want to spend more on tax, but in return for that, have better services, fewer potholes, better hospitals, better healthcare, better mental health care, more social housing, better education for the kids, more high quality schools. The thing is, this has all been a political choice. You notice that the Tories, they don't give a shit. They really don't care. I'm not pretending that any other party will be any good. Or much better anyway. They're all out for themselves pretty much. And it's just a shame. We used to be such a good country. You look back to 2012, year of the London Olympics. The country was together. It was a great year. It was a great time. The Tories, although they were in power, hadn't wrecked the country yet. And everything just had a good air and a good vibe and a good feeling and positivity about it. Now it's so negative. It's so negative. Am I right? What else do you think's wrong with this country? Let me know.
Can someone tell me why carers are expected to fix a system that the UK is broken? Because honestly, I'm so done with it. It's getting embarrassing now, big man. Sort it out. My name's Shannon and I've been a carer for 3 years now, and I'm telling you, every single week it's getting worse. Staff are vanishing, done, doing training, not coming back. They're burning out, which leads to more referral to mental health services. Every shift is running on fumes, and the UK still acts shocked. This crisis appeared out of thin air. No, big man, you created this mess. Now you're dumping it on the carers to clean it up. Are you actually crazy? Make it make sense. Please repost this before they pretend that they didn't see it. Yeah, because I'm too loud to be ignored out here. Follow for more chaos.
Right, now let me show you something now. So this place cost me 11,000 for 5 nights here. And obviously you've got this super nice view, great location, apartment looks really nice, good size, decorated well. 11,000, 5 nights. Now we're going to travel forward in time to my hotel that we booked in London, which is the same price, 11,000, but for less time. It's for 4 nights, same price, 11,000. London. Welcome to London. This is our room that cost us £300 per night. Wait, let's check the view. How's the view? Oh my goodness. Nope, can't open the window. What a lovely view of some kind of dilapidated housing. Welcome to the grey. That's what I like to call England, the grey. Even look, even the walls are grey in the room. In China, you could literally stay in the Ritz, Marriott, Four Seasons, Hilton for that kind of price. Luxury, talking 5-star. But this is what it gets you in London. And if you look here, look, that's all the lights you have in the room. There's 2 lights. There's no main light here. Look. Why is that? Because the UK's electricity prices are the highest in the world, and the hotel is trying to save money. So they just there's no light even. We've got the light on it. This is daytime. Look outside. I know it looks like it's nighttime, but this is actually 11 morning. It's morning. It's 10, 11 a.m. in the morning. Can you believe that? Look at that sky. What is that even? Is that clouds?
At the end of the day, if you get those parents off their backside and out to work, you will get so many of those kids out of poverty and solve those problems in a better way.
This is off the Gov website about people who are affected by the 2-child cap. Clearly says 59% of claimants affected by the policy are in work. 59%. But wait, the plot thickens. 40% of the households who are affected by the 2-child cap have somebody in the household with disabilities. Well, why am I saying all this? Firstly, it's because it's very disingenuous to make out that child poverty is because these parents are just sat on their asses and work, and that they should just go out to work when majority of them already are. Well, secondly, it's because Rachel Reeves has not clarified yet if the universal credit cap will be gone. Yeah, there's 2 caps. These are the maximum amounts somebody on universal credit can claim per month depending on their situation, and yes, it includes rent. The maximum a couple can get outside of London is £1,835, and in London it's £2,110. Now, the only people who are exempt from the universal credit cap are people who are working and claiming universal credit, or those who have a disabled person in the household. Meaning those universal credit claimers who are just sat on their arse able to work who aren't working will not see increase to their benefits over this amount. What will happen is on their universal credit statement, the deducted area will include child element. I will be making a video once it is clear what's happening with the universal credit cap.
Oh, I can't wait for the Lib Dems to explode with outrage over this one, except they won't, and neither will Labour supporters. But they'd be rioting on X if this were Reform UK. Let's have a little chat about Tulip Siddiq. That's right, a standing government MP. Because this isn't some fringe figure, some 5-minute deputy spokesperson, or a name you have to Google. She's a sitting Labour MP, part of the actual governing party, voting on laws that shape this country. And she's just been sentenced to 2 years in prison in Bangladesh. According to reports, a court found her guilty of using special influence to help secure a lot of land for her relatives. Siddiq denies everything. Her legal team says the charges are politically motivated. And yes, that does happen in countries where regimes fall. And Hasina's regime didn't fall quietly. But here's the reality. If this were a Reform UK MP or a Tory MP, if this were anyone else even remotely right of centre, the Lib Dems would be holding emergency press conferences. Ed Davey would be demanding investigations in Parliament. Labour activists would be trending hashtags by lunchtime. And every influencer with a rainbow avatar would be demanding investigations, resignations and soul searching. Instead, silence. Not a whisper, not a raised eyebrow, not even a half-hearted "this looks a bit questionable." And the story itself is big. We're talking about a sitting British MP caught up in a corruption conviction connected to her aunt, the former Bangladeshi Prime Minister, who has herself just been sentenced to death over her regime's handling of protests. Another court gave her and her 2 children 21 years over a separate land deal. This is political upheaval on a massive scale in Bangladesh. Siddiq is unlikely to serve the sentence because the UK has no extradition treaty with Bangladesh. There are disputes over her passport status and the legal arguments will swirl for years. But the point is this. When Starmer's own ethics advisor reviewed Siddiq's ties earlier this year, he said he found no improprieties, but warned that she should have shown far better judgment about the reputational risk. So why is nobody demanding accountability now? Why is there no pressure? Why is every activist who screams integrity suddenly on mute? Well, let me put it straight to you. If this were a Reform MP, how loud would the Lib Dems be right now? How loud would Labour's online army be? Exactly. Let me know what you think.
So I've just made a video about that woman having 50 quid left for the rest of the month on the 6th of November. I knew it would strike a chord. Now, check some of the responses that I've had already within 30 minutes. This is the real state of the UK. Never mind us fighting over left wing or right wing or slagging Keir Starmer off. Well, we're going to keep doing that. But this is the reality. This is why the country is at breaking point. Check this out. So this was a photo response on my last video. You can go and check it out. My daughter, after paying her bills, who has 2 kids, this was on Monday. She's got £88 left. £88 left on Monday. It is now Friday. So I'm guessing that's gone down considerably. So whilst we're all out here fighting and waving the flags for the Free Palestine March and arguing whether people should be putting up St George's crosses and arguing whether Jeff Bezos should be paying more tax, the reality of the UK, and I'm sure this is a lot of Western countries as well, that people are surviving on less than 100 quid in November with Christmas coming up. These are the stories that need to be going viral. These are the videos that need to be getting 2 to 3 to 4 million views. These are the videos that GB News needs to be seeing and tagged in. This is the news that needs to be on Sky News and the BBC. Because how is a mother with a couple of kids supposed to last on 88 quid? The country is absolutely broken. So I've just made a video about that woman having 50 quid left for the rest of the month on the 6th of November. I knew it would strike a chord. Now, check some of the responses that I've had already within 30 minutes. This is the real state of the UK. Never mind us fighting over left wing or right wing or slagging Keir Starmer off. Well, we're going to keep doing that. But this is the reality. This is why the country is at breaking point. Check this out. So this was a photo response on my last video. You can go and check it out. My daughter, after paying her bills, who has 2 kids, this was on Monday. She's got £88 left. £88 left on Monday. It is now Friday. So I'm guessing that's gone down considerably. So whilst we're all out here fighting and waving the flags for the Free Palestine March and arguing whether people should be putting up St George's crosses and arguing whether Jeff Bezos should be paying more tax. The reality of the UK, and I'm sure this is a lot of Western countries as well, that people are surviving on less than 100 quid in November with Christmas coming up. These are the stories that need to be going viral. These are the videos that need to be getting 2 to 3 to 4 million views. These are the videos that GB News needs to be seeing and tagged in. This is the news that needs to be on Sky News and the BBC. Because how is a mother with a couple of kids supposed to last on 88 quid? The country is absolutely broken.
I've lived here all my life. I'm 30 years old, and I'm going to tell you exactly why I do not want to live here. Somebody can make an offensive Facebook status or a tweet. Granted, yes, they should be brought to justice. They should be punished for what they do. I agree. They are sentenced to 20 months in the UK. A man can also commit one of the worst crimes to do with children. He will be sentenced to a 6-month suspended sentence where he won't even see the inside of a jail cell. This man is higher up in society. He has money. Some might say he's part of the elite. I can't say too much in this video because I could get into a lot of trouble. But to me, that sounds backwards. Does it sound backwards to you? Maybe I'm wrong. Please let me know. But that is why I do not want to live in the UK anymore.
I am so annoyed and angry. This is what the UK has come to. I'm losing all hope. This right here is a fine. I have just been fined £111.20. For Americans, that's $150. Oh, why? What did you do? It must have been bad. Let me give you some backstory. I don't have a car, and in the UK, trains are very accessible, so I travel on trains quite a lot. I had a rail card, which expired. It expired 2 weeks before I got this ticket. However, in the app that you used to buy tickets, it doesn't take an expired rail card off of it. It will attach the expired rail card to tickets you buy. So I'm sat on the train, having bought a ticket, which is already, by the way, way too expensive. If you want to go to London, you're looking at paying over £100 a trip. It's just not affordable. Anyway, they scan my ticket and say, you've bought this ticket on an expired rail card. That's £111 fine. What? By the way, I've never had any problems before buying rail tickets, ever, in my life. So you'd think, clearly this is just a one-off, it's a mistake, we'll let him just buy a new ticket, and that's fine, we'll let him move on. No, the apps do not remove your rail card. They will keep it on there and purposely want you to get caught with an expired rail card, so you have to pay the system. You don't get enough money out of us. I know people will say, well, it's your fault. You booked a ticket on an expired rail card. You should have known. I understand. But the apps are designed to trip you up. They're designed for the system to win. Even the guy that printed this off, by the way, does it need to be that big? It's 2025. I don't need the Declaration of Independence printed off. But the guy that printed this off even agreed with me. He said, yeah, it's out of order. So he works for the trains and still thought that. So what hope do we have? Anyway, I hope your day is going better than mine. I've just also read that if I pay it within 21 days, it's only £61. So, bargain.
This is a bit of a longer video about the family court system in the UK. A lot of people are asking why I haven't got 50-50, why the family courts wouldn't order the mother that's kidnapped my 2 daughters, Ronnie and Harper, aged 10 and 6, why the family courts wouldn't force her to let me see them or force her to allow them to contact me. Well, briefly, May last year she stopped all contact. I went straight to court, got an adjournment and hearing. The court basically said to her straight away that I should have contact. She said no. The judge said, well, I'm going to have to adjourn it 6 months. She said, great. 6 months went, October, nothing happened. Got adjourned again till May, 1 year. So I waited 1 year. The court case happened in May. A judge who doesn't know what he's talking about, Judge Andy King from Reading Family Court, did a ruling which basically said that we got to sort it out as parents. There's no reason why I can't see them. There's no safeguarding issues. that we need to sort it out and arrange contact between us, despite her alleging harassment, because I'm constantly trying to reach out to make contact, and the police are currently investigating me for harassing her. So the judge basically stitched me up and made it impossible for me to make contact. She's refusing to correspond with me. I've got no way of contacting them. The judge did put one clause in there that I should have 2 video calls a month, but he didn't date them. He didn't time and date them. So when I tried to enforce the court order with a section C79 application, the same judge got the application and wrote back and said it's non-enforceable, meaning the original court order is flawed, it's non-law abiding, it can't be enforced. So I've had to appeal that with an N161 application, appealing the original court order from Judge King now to a High Court judge. That's adjourned for September. The C79 application enforcing contact has been adjourned to October for Judge King to find out what he's done with his original order. So here we are. Haven't seen the children since May 24. It's now July 25. Haven't spoke to the children in 34 days since Father's Day, when I had the last call on June the 17th. All contact has been cut off. The court system has done absolutely nothing about it. I've contacted social services because there's been safeguarding issues, because the mother, you know, stuff I don't really want to get into, but she likes using recreational substances, and I don't believe she's safeguarding the children anyway. The social, the police, nobody cares. The court system, they don't care. It seems normal nowadays that a father can be blocked out of children's lives. Children are just alienated, they're brainwashed, to the point where they start hating the parent that's pushing for contact because the mum can put on a good act how daddy's upsetting her. So the bond I once had with a child who absolutely adored me has now turned into, she doesn't want to speak to me. She doesn't want to speak to her daddy. Absolutely ridiculous how this parental alienation works. It's like a game of chess where they just make up their own chess pieces. It's impossible to counter because they don't play by the rules. It's all psychological games where they alienate the child. So they're playing multiple pieces on the board when you've just got one. You just have to sit and be patient and rely on a court system that is flawed. So if you want a proper update, go to the website, which is on the front of this TikTok, or go into the description. But there's going to be plenty of updates about the court system. I'm in contempt of court as well for publishing the court papers on the website. Fully willing to go to prison, ready to go to prison when all this is eventually sorted out and I've established contact with the children. I'll quite happily come back to the UK and serve my little prison sentence for contempt of court. But until it's sorted out, I'll be remaining here in the sun, out of the reach of the British judiciary system. Corrupt courts. Why should I come back and face the corrupt justice system when a court system can't even stand up for my children, can't even abide by the law, when you've got family court judges that don't even know the law? Andy King from Reading Family Court Services District Judge has got no legal training. He shouldn't be sat on the bench. He shouldn't be dealing with court cases like this. He's not legally trained. He's made a massive mistake, which is costing time costing the children time with me, causing everyone stress. He shouldn't be sat on the bench. Anyway, go to the website if you want more of an update.
Everything is just falling apart. And not only that, morale is just terrible. People I speak to, there's so much doom and gloom. And all I'd say is this: pain is temporary. These things come and go, governments change, mentalities change, economic situations change. The one skill that I believe is the most important skill you can have in life is resilience. That ability just to keep on going, staying positive, keep trying new things, keep learning, hanging on in there. And if you keep doing that, things will get better. Even right now, so I'm walking along, it's pouring with rain, going to a coffee shop to do some work, and You know, it could be a beautiful sunny day. I could be living in Spain or somewhere where it's always sunny. But you know what? This rain makes this country a green and pleasant land. And I'm still always patriotic, always trying to make sure I've got that positive outlook. It's getting hard. I worry for the future, for my children. And I don't know what's around the corner, but you know, you just got to keep moving forward, keep trying to make a difference in your own little way. It doesn't matter. Together, I think if everyone starts having that outlook, it can change the world. Sounds a bit wishy-washy and a bit la-la, but I do believe that. Impact what you can impact. Keep being positive, and it will make a difference. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
Do any of you people worry about the state of the UK and what the future holds for our children and grandchildren and what a mess it's in and how it's become? Because I do. It kept me awake again all last night, looking at the ceiling. I can't fucking sleep, to be honest. I really can't. I think it's at a point now where things are really going to kick off. And a lot of the public don't even know about all the piss taking that's going on with the police and everything else, the protesting, all of it really. And it's starting to drag me down. I know it is a lot of other creators on here, because we all got our voice, but nobody seems to be bothered out there. Nobody. Now just look at the hotel in Epping. Obviously there's a lot of people out there kicking off because of one of them and assaulted somebody. And look what happens. The police bring in anti-protesters, escort them out, and then take them back, even though they denied it. So of course, it did kick off. So what was the answer? A disgusting one. They're getting moved out, which is wrong, really. They should stay there. But where are they going? The Britannia Hotel in Canary Wharf, a big posh hotel. You would have seen it all over TikTok, all the creators there, police everywhere. And again, they bring in more anti-protesters. When the people that are there aren't protesting, they're people like me and other creators there, taking videos, making people aware of things. And it's got out of control. It's absolutely ridiculous. It really is. When's it going to stop? The thing is, it's not shared on the main media, is it? Mainstream. These things happening. Yeah, there's reporters there, but it's all hush-hush. Because it takes a piss. We've got people starving, people on the streets, while these lot get shipped off to one of the poshest hotels in London just because they're under threat from people there just kicking off. Not far right, just normal people not happy with the situation. So I worry every night, and I'm supposed to be resting, but I can't take myself away from what's going on in the UK at the moment. And I feel things are about to kick off, not for the good, for the worst. So anyway, what do you think? Can please have your comments? That's for those that actually listen to this, because it's long. Because I've obviously got a lot to say. But anyway, I apologise for keeping you longer than you needed to be here. So thanks for your time, and I wish you a good day. Thank you.
I hate her. I hate the Exchequer. I hate the Prime Minister. What a disastrous, disastrous budget. They lied to us. They genuinely lied to us. They've raised taxes so they can increase welfare spend. What a fucking joke. While the rest of us, the workers, the people that get up to a fucking alarm clock every fucking morning and work 50, 55-hour weeks, are going to be paying more tax, frozen tax thresholds. I just think it's a fucking joke. All I can really hope is that the budget won't go through because she's forced to resign because of her lying or something along those lines. Honestly, pubs are going to be screwed, restaurants are going to be screwed, entire industries are just absolutely shitting it, and they just don't give two shits. None of the budget did not contain anything about growth. The OBR didn't even bother to evaluate any measure because none of them are going to drive growth. Honestly, it's a fucking shambles. She basically looked at everything in the country and anything that involves doing well or earning money yourself and having ambition, whether that be salary sacrifice, dividends rates, she just put it up. All I can say is fuck Rachel Reeves.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up your seatbelts, grab your cuppa, and prepare for a political pantomime that even the BBC wouldn't dare to script. Because today we are stepping right into the hallowed halls of Westminster, where logic goes to take a long nap, and where microphones tremble under the sheer force of parliamentary passion. Yes, it's Prime Minister's Questions. Or, as it's increasingly becoming known, Britain's longest-running live comedy show. And today's star of the show, none other than Zara Sultana, the MP whose speeches often sound like they're competing in an Olympic sport called How Far Can I Roll My Eyes in One Sentence? Before we show you the video footage, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 99.8% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video.
So, Mr. Speaker, can the Secretary of State explain how it was determined and who determined that Soldier F qualified for Ministry of Defence funding and what precedent this decision was based on? Particularly given reports that he received double the financial support typically afforded to a single defendant. If he was eligible for legal aid, that avenue was open for him. Instead, £4.3 million of public money was spent defending a man who, in his own evidence to the Southern Inquiry, admitted his lethal role in the state-sanctioned murders on Bloody Sunday. Does the Secretary of State believe that this represents an equal and impartial application of justice, or a two-tiered system designed to shield the British state from accountability?
On the first point that she raises, it is right and proper that the Ministry of Defence provides support to any veteran who is facing a criminal justice process. I think we would expect nothing less.
Now picture it. The Grand Chamber, green benches glistening under the lights, MPs fidgeting like school children who've been told off by the head teacher. And right there, Zara Sultana stands up with the air of someone who's just about to expose a grand conspiracy involving tea prices and the Ministry of Defence. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, she begins, and you can already tell somewhere deep within that this is going to be one of those moments. The sort of moment that makes half the chamber sigh, the other half lean in, and the poor speaker wonder whether he can request early retirement, and she's off. She wants to know, quite indignantly, mind you, how on earth the Ministry of Defence decided that Soldier F deserved public funding. And immediately you can hear the tension. Somewhere in the back, a few veterans shift uncomfortably, a few MPs raise eyebrows, and somewhere an aide is probably Googling, is it too late to call in sick? She lays out her case with the full force of righteous outrage, her voice quivering in the way politicians do when they're absolutely certain they've landed a moral uppercut. She says, and I quote, if he was eligible for legal aid, that avenue was open to him. Instead, £4.3 million of public money was spent defending a man who, in his own evidence to the Bloody Sunday Inquiry, admitted his lethal role. Now, let's pause here. Because the way she delivers £4.3 million sounds less like a budget figure and more like the price tag on an alien spaceship. You can almost see her thinking, that'll shock them. That's the big number moment. And in fairness, it works. Because across the chamber, there's a ripple of sound. A few groans, a few jeers, the unmistakable British noise of collective disbelief. And just as you're thinking, surely this is the crescendo, she adds the kicker, accusing the ministry of running a two-tier system designed to shield the British state from accountability. Oh, it's bold, it's dramatic, it's pure theatre. You half expect someone to cue the EastEnders theme tune. And then, like a perfectly timed punchline in a sitcom, comes the response. Hilary Benn, calm as a vicar, at a village fete. politely leans forward and says in that soothing tone of experience, "It is right and proper that the Ministry of Defence provides support to any veteran who is facing a criminal justice process. I think we would expect nothing less." Translation, sit down, Zara. You've just walked into the world's most predictable answer. But of course that's not the point, is it? Because what just happened there wasn't really about policy. It was about performance, about optics, about that sweet, sweet moment when you know clips of your question are going to hit Twitter within minutes, captioned with something like "Zara Sultana demolishes the Tories," except if you actually listen, nothing was demolished, except perhaps her own composure when the boos started rolling in from the backbenches. Oh yes, the boos. That unmistakable Westminster soundtrack of collective disapproval, like the audience at a pantomime when the villain walks on stage. It's the kind of sound that instantly makes any politician's confidence shrink faster than a cheap suit in the rain, and in that moment you can see it, the flicker of disbelief across her face. "Wait," her expression says, "you're not supposed to boo me. I'm the one doing the calling out." But alas, politics is cruel that way. The Commons chamber is not an Instagram comment section. You can't mute the replies. Now, the thing about these...
The soul of this nation is being sold off piece by piece, and half the population's too scared to even say it out loud in case they get called names on Twitter. Well, I'm 90-odd years old. I've earned the right to say what I see. And what I see is a country that's lost its backbone, lost its borders, and lost its bloody mind. If we don't wake up soon, there won't be a Blighty left to save. Cheerio, and I'll see you in the next video.